When this piece of imagery got sent to me, I had to read it maybe 2 times to really grasp what was being said here. Not because I didn't understand it, but because I was sitting here saying to myself, I have done so many bed bucking Hall of Shames on this dude. It's not even funny, but this one, I think it's safe to say that Tiny Terry has gone completely off the deep end with this particular post on July 20th, 2025. So little Tiny Terry decided he was going to make this post at 9:35 p.m. stating, "Please stop," in all caps. I come from slaves. There is no evidence that I am a descendant of former slaves. There were black slave owners in America who could be my actual ancestors. Thank you. Thanks for your attention to this matter. One of the first things that I was asking was, what triggered this post? Because I'm sitting here saying to myself, the way that he wrote it, it's almost like it's in response to something that somebody said about him or whatever that is. So what I did was went onto his Twitter account and started to scroll down the page, and I didn't see anything that alluded to him responding to anybody saying anything about him. So maybe this is stemming from a post that was made by somebody else, or maybe a video that he got wind of or something. But something had to have triggered him to say something like this, because it comes off like a response. But I don't know who could have said anything that would have made him say this, or maybe one of the voices in his head just compelled him to write this. I don't know. But he wrote this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to dissect it, and it's not going to take long to do. He said, "Please stop saying I come from slaves. There is no evidence that I'm a descendant of former slaves." Well, by that logic, if that is indeed true, Tiny Terry, one, we will not be upset if you weren't. That means you won't get a cut of the check when they are distributed. But by chance that you are, does that mean you're going to give up your portion of your check, or all of it for that matter? Because this is his line drawn in the sand moment. This is his declaration of him telling himself and the audience at large, or whoever is listening to him, that he, Terrence K. Williams, aka Little Tiny Terry, does not come from slaves, that he is not FBA. That he has declared that. Now, let me also go on to remind you that Tiny Terry doesn't know his biological parents, because remember, he was adopted. These are his words, and he even said why he was. So I don't feel like we have to rehash why that is. He's basically told us what happened and why he was adopted, so he doesn't even know his biological parents. He goes on to say in this next part, he says, "There were black slave owners in America who could be my actual ancestors." To that point right there, what that reads to me is he would be happy and glad if his ancestors that he descended from were slave owners. So he's basically telling us that he would rather be the descendant of slave owners rather than be the descendants of slaves. This makes so much sense now when you think about how he acts and how he carries on, and why so many people, like a lot of those bot accounts that follow him, sing his praises and pat him on the head and says, "We're gonna go and buy your pancakes," and everything like that. Actually, matter of fact, I was scrolling through and I saw a comment that had said something along the lines of, "Good job for you, Terrence. You're one of the good ones. Now go start continue to make some of those waffles." Like, I kid you not, that's literally what one of the comments said in response to this. And you know what? I bet you he would hop right to it. I wouldn't even be in the least bit surprised if he did rather. Like I said, this guy is completely lost in the sauce, and he would rather be lost as well. He literally said he could be the descendant of black slave owners, which, by the way, let's hypothetically say that there were black slave owners like they said, and not saying that there were or there weren't. 9 times out of 10, they were probably FBA as well. And let me also just put this out there, because a lot of people love to throw this black slave owner thing out there if they actually knew their history. If there were some black slaves owners out there, 9 times out of 10 it's because they had enough money to buy their family back from the white slave owners so they could stay intact, so they could stay with each other. They weren't buying them so they could own them per se. They were buying them, they're most likely their families, so they could stay together and not be spread out. Because little do some people know about history, a lot of black families were completely stripped away from each other. Like they never all went to the same plantation. Some went, maybe a father went here, a mother went there, and the children went elsewhere. And some of them, unfortunately, never even saw each other again. That's why I said when it comes to us and our history, especially as FBA, we're more tight knit than one might think. You might be listening to the sound of your voice of a distant cousin right now, but we would never know because our families were stripped apart. We was thrown everywhere. So we somewhere down the line, I might be related to a few of my subscribers that I've never met. But the nerve of this dude to sit up here right here and say that he could be the actual ancestors of black slave owners, the fact that he actually pedestalized black slave owners over black slaves, he's telling you right here that he would rather be the descendant of those who owned us. Let me say that again so people understand what I'm saying in the back. He is telling us that he would rather be the descendant of slave owners who could have owned our ancestors. That is what he's telling you. If anyone did not know, could not tell anything right now about how off code this dude is and he's a lost cause and there's no saving him, this post right here, without the shadow of a doubt, should lay it all out for you. And when he gets his wake up call, and he will, because they all do, a lot of them don't think they'll get one. Some of them have gotten them and still don't get the memo. But when he gets his, and I'm talking about the big major wake up call, the one he won't be able to bounce back from, it is going to be glorious. And I cannot wait. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.